Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. It is time for the second episode of Minor League Fights and Insights, Series 3. We're 2 days away. 2 days away from the big kickoff of week one. How are you? Little low on volume. Pump it up a smidge. Pump up the jam. Pump it up while your feet are stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look at live. My body's. I don't know the rest of that. Anyways, we'll cut it off there. I hope that helps just a little bit. Well, I'll hit the button here. Here. Okay. Let's see if that helps. All right. Thanks for joining us. It is Axel Raven here, host of Minor League Fights and Insights. This is the spot for the Simulation Football League's minor league players to come get together, join as a community, learn a little bit, have some discourse in a variety of different ways, and get to know each other, learn, have fun doing it, and sort of speculate about our games, about how to progress, how to build, what's up, having fun, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I'm here with a few great, awesome people. My panelists here for tonight, we've got Daniel, right, my right hand man. You live here. You've set up shop here in the basement of Minor League Fights and Insight Studios. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. I actually just woke me up not too long ago, so I'm bright and early, really refreshed, ready to go. Kind of thing. I heard we
That
got some games soon.
that's absolutely true. We do have some games coming up. That is exciting. Nathaniel Diggs, thanks for coming up. You were a perennial last season and the season before. Appreciate you coming on. We've been meaning to connect a lot. It's great to see your face here and chat with you here tonight, at least. So thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. It sucks, Johnny couldn't make it, but I'm always happy to fill in when I can. So
Absolutely appreciate it. There's always a spot for you. We'll always make room for you here. Same with Robert Cherry, just over there on the right. Robert, how are you tonight? How's weather down in Florida for you?
Weather's a lot better now that the hurricane's gone. It's starting to get a little chilly, which is nice. It's a great break from the heat. So doing well.
That is good to hear. Good to hear. Well, we'll just kick it into high gear tonight. We've got a couple sort of special guests. First, they'll be coming on simultaneously. That means at the same time. If for those that don't know, sorry, my wife is an elementary school teacher. Sometimes we need to explain things. Anyways, so tonight we've got Mike All. Mike is coming to us from your attic. Is that where you're at, Mike?
Yeah, I had this set up last night for Access Live, and I decided not to bother to move. So here you go. We're back in my attic ish.
Gotcha. Very cool. Welcome. And so you're here. You're wanting to make sort of a little bit of an announcement, or introduce us, I guess, to a new member of your front office who'll be taking over, coming into the Lincoln Rattlesnakes team. Um, is that correct?
Yes, correct. So up until this season, Tyler Falk had been our offensive coordinator, and due to real life circumstances, he had to step away. But my camera seems to be frozen on your screen.
I'm not
Um,
sure. Yeah.
but he had to step away, and I totally respect that. He has a lot going on, and I want him to be successful. And so I went out on the search for a new offensive coordinator, and I had a couple people I talked to, and the one that I liked the best was a guy that we'll introduce to you shortly. He's well known by one of your panelists. Um, and if I could, I would like to introduce Mike O'Neal as our new offensive coordinator. And to be fair, I wanted his chair, but in order to get his chair, I had to get him. So
And funny enough, it looks like his video is gone. It's out of the Ninja. So he is the apparition that that is Mike O'Neill.
well, hopefully he's still here, because otherwise I'm gonna feel foolish here.
I think he's
I
here on audio.
I am I am still here. Hold up. I'm trying. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, my video just closed out. I guess whenever I stepped away. Wow, This is the chair's plan. That's what's going on here. The chair is trying to take my.
Is there still a chance you can get another offensive coordinator to win that might know technology?
Well, I'm telling you, the chair's really good, but you leave it up to Mike O'Neill and look what happens.
No, here he comes. I will grab his link. I
Technology is
wonder
a wonder. It happens to everyone.
I wonder if it just timed out. I'll just pop it in there. Let's see. And there he is. There's the chair. There's the chair. The infamous chair.
That is
And
a
Mike.
beautiful
He's
chair.
being late to the
It's
first day of work.
Exactly.
It's a great
Yeah.
chair.
Well,
Thanks for coming
I'm
on.
super stoked that this is a dog too, by the way. Yeah, excited to be here, man. I'm really excited to be teaming up with Lincoln, and just really excited to be in the front office with some great people. Man, it's a really cool opportunity, and I'm really excited to see what I can bring to this offense in Lincoln, and see if we can help lead them to a championship this year.
Yeah. So tell me, Mike, could you remind me what was? So I feel like Daniel picked Lincoln last season,
We don't
and
talk about last season.
and I was curious again how you guys did last season. And I know much like nearly every season, at the end there's the big purge of the draft that removes a lot of players. Curious, how did you do last season, and what are you looking forward to? Keeping the same? What are you looking forward to sort of changing, flipping on its head, and for this season?
Well, we had a less than expected season, and it's fine. We Lincoln uh, hasn't had a winning season yet in its history. That's 2 seasons. Um, but we fell a little short of goal, and we didn't make the minor league playoffs last season. And I was looking forward to coming back this year even stronger and better and ready to go. And fortunately, we have the top quarterback and the top running back in the league returning to us in Kenny Slider and Logan Lee, and they're going to do a lot to help lead the way for us. Um, and I thought, who better than to get a guy like Mike O'Neill to come and put those talents to good use on the offense. And we have Chris Porter returning as our defensive coordinator.
That's awesome.
He did a very good job. If you remember when we faced down Randy Squarebush last season, he did a great job of shutting him down. And he came to Canton with me and did a great job for us in Canton. Um, and I'm looking forward to uh, a season of improvement from Chris. And we still have some tools there to use to make it work. And a lot of new guys on the defense, but new guys that I know are going to be very successful. And with Mike putting his plans together for our offense with the tools that he's got, I feel like we're going to keep the rotation going for the minor league championship, where it was Madison, Albuquerque, then Salt Lake. We've gone through Madison again, Albuquerque again. Well, now it's Lincoln's turn. So I'm calling it right now. Lincoln's taking home the championship this season.
Awesome. Well, Mike, again, congrats for taking on the new role. I know like this last season you were defensive coordinator in Charleston, sort of stepped away from that, but now going leaning in and going headstrong or head first into offensive coordinating over in Lincoln. How do you feel? Like, what are you bringing to this? And tell me a little bit about your story as well.
Yeah, so for one, like I said, I'm excited, definitely excited. Obviously, yeah, I did step away from Charleston as a defensive coordinator. I got really nothing but love for that organization and everybody over there. It really is. It was awesome to get an opportunity. Whenever Mike All came to me originally about the offensive coordinator position in Lincoln, I told him I had to mow it over. I didn't want to commit to it unless I really was fully able to commit to it because there was a lot going on in my life. And yeah, I finally thought it over and decided that this is something that I wanted to be a part of. And I reached back out to him and told him I was in, and yeah, been going since, and really excited for it. I mean, this week has been the first week I've really gotten to get my hands dirty with the playbook and working with the team and everything. And man, we got some weapons, to say the least, man. I think that there's a lot of potential for things that we can do. I mean, for one, like Kenny Slider is good, and not just like minor league good. Like Kenny Slider is like major league starting quarterback good. I mean, he's on another level. Every play that I'm putting into my practice, and every play that I'm putting into my play testing, because I like to try and see, because every quarterback's going to play different, right? So I like to try and see what quarterbacks can do what. You may have a quarterback that has to take the short routes or has to take the checkdowns, on certain plays, or you may have a quarterback that just likes to air it out. So I'm trying to just familiarize myself with all the players and everything. And so far so good. And man, we got a lot of weapons, but yeah, I'm excited to be here in Lincoln. And as far as my start, I found the SFL a couple seasons ago. I would say season 16, season 15 or season 16, and I've kind of been in and out since then. And just after really diving headfirst into it, season 18. At the end of the season, at the end of season 18, I did a little bit of offensive coordinating for San Diego for the last few games down the stretch, and then I went to Charleston last season, and I'm just trying to see where everything takes me this season. But I think this is a great way to get my hands dirty again with the offensive side of the ball. And like Mike all said, that championship is coming to Lincoln this year.
Very cool. And if I remember right from conversations, face to face in Vegas, which is already 3 months ago. Gosh,
So crazy.
you have some experience in real life coaching, is that right too? So sort of bring,
Correct. Yeah.
which we know isn't an exact poured over one for one to APF stuff, but there's still some scheming and understanding how the game of football is played versus the game of APF. But yeah, that's awesome that you have that background.
For sure.
And
Absolutely. So I coached middle school level football, specifically defensive backs and linebackers. Went back and forth between those two, so I was always defensive minded on that front. But you know what they say, that the best defensive coach is a former defensive coach.
Yeah.
So and that's the truth, man. It really is. It helps a lot, and like you said, it's not one to one as far as real life football and APF. There's little nuances that you have to get used to for sure. And I think I learned that big time last season in Charleston. And you can just look at that 3-9 record and you can see. But it's a learning process, and really we're here to just have fun, and this is my outlet. So for as far as like my occupation, my wife and I, we travel and play music, and we're all over the country, and I don't really have time to do like real life coaching, because of course I love working with kids and everything, but this to me, I found a home in the SFL that I didn't think existed, which is being able to have my outlet of like calling plays and being a coach, and being a part of such a great community. I didn't think it existed, and I can do all of that while being able to continue with my occupation.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I myself, having never been much in any type of formal sports, I found my outlet of, that locker room experience, that culture building experience. And it goes, there's the different stages of like, there's the whole community, the whole league itself. Then there, you've got your team itself, and then you've got like your smaller friend group and things. But I appreciate that. So both Mike and Mike, all in Oneal, so is it right? You guys have Tacoma coming up on Friday. How have things been going with that preparation?
Well, I can speak for Chris Porter on this. He actually had his playbook in place already very early this week. So he's pretty confident that he knows how to stop their offense.
That's awesome.
But Mike and I actually had a talk earlier today about what he's seen with our offense against their defense. So I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away all my
no for sure. Yep.
Give all my secrets away. But we've seen a couple things, a couple of mismatches that we really like, as far as against going up against Tacoma's defense. And look, it's a good Tacoma team, right? So just looking at the rosters and everything, I think our two teams match up very well. And I think that, I might be a little biased, but looking at our offense and looking at the weapons that we have, and just seeing that the way that they're playing, Logan Lee, our running back is lights out, and really he's going to do whenever you have, for one, if you have a good running back, it doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you have. If you can use that good running back and lean on him, it's going to help a lot. But whenever you have a good running back and a good quarterback, well, I think you see exactly what happens. Like this season in London, I think that's a perfect example of it. So I think the sky's the limit for us as far as Tacoma goes. It's a good football team. We know that there's people on the other side of this scouting us, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a chess match.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys are fully expecting to reach those playoffs later on in December. Is that right?
Oh yeah, and it starts and ends with Tacoma. They're our start and our finish to our season.
Awesome.
So Axel, I'm gonna have to apologize to you about what we're gonna have to do to your alma mater.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll see how things go.
Oh, that's what this is about. Okay, all right, I see. Axel's trying to get the game plan out of us. That's what he's trying to do.
No. I wouldn't do that. I try to be intentionally impartial. So, um, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I am a fan of having really exciting games, regardless of what the outcome happens, and that's really, as long as people have that fair shake, and people are giving it their all on the field, giving it all their all in preparation for going on the field. People are progressing and engaging. That's that's awesome.
I mean, wherever Lincoln is,
Absolutely.
we have it all right now.
We have it all. Awesome.
Yeah.
Any final words from a little rim shot? Yeah. A little. Any final words from either of you before we call it a night for the two of you?
Go ahead, Mike. You can give him some final words.
All right, yeah. Well, for one, I'm really glad to be given this opportunity and not the chair. I'm really glad to be picked over the chair because apparently everybody had the time of their lives last night on Dave Axis's show as soon as I got off and the chair was on. So it's crazy. Like I'll probably get more messages about the chair than I will about the OC position. But hey, no hard feelings. No, honestly, excited once again to be a part of Lincoln, and really excited to be just a part of the SFLM community. It's really, really cool. I think it is a pivotal part of the SFL, and I think it often gets underlooked. And so I'm just really excited to be here and excited to be on this show with you guys. You guys do an excellent job. I mean, this show is something that the SFL has needed, for a long time. The SFLM was always overlooked, and it's really good what you guys are doing, and you guys do a great job at it, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be on here with you guys.
Cool. I appreciate it. Mike, any last words from you?
Yeah, no, yeah. Once again, yeah, I appreciate everything that you guys do for the minors. It's a really important thing that we have in the SFL. I got the advantage of being a part of that first season in the minors, and it was big. If it wasn't for that first season in the minors, I might not even still be here today because I made so many friends in the minor leagues that I'm still friends with. It's awesome. It's an awesome thing to have, and I'm looking forward to this new class getting on the field Friday night, and all the things that they're going to learn from you guys and from us as we teach them as the season goes along. And go Lincoln.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
One last thing. It's funny. SFLM is kind of like an alma mater for the SFL, is it not?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's like born and raised kind of thing.
Everybody bands together. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got your sigil, your banner that you play. People. It's like 2 or 3 seasons in the pros go along, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know you were on that. And again, it could have been separated by 2 or 3 seasons, but you just have that camaraderie. Just like, oh, I went to Syracuse as well, or that kind of college kind of aspect.
So cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you
That's
what.
awesome,
Whenever I get a new player in Lincoln, I greet them by saying "Welcome home" because that is now their home.
And then you get a tattoo of their name on your body.
Yeah, but that's something I do in private, but just for me.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you both coming on.
Congrats on
Awesome.
the
Thank you, guys.
position Oneal. I'm gonna steal something from guys here. I know Daniel usually does this stuff, but it was a tough choice between that chair. It gave you some stiff competition.
Yeah, it was pretty close, man. I was sweating the entire time, so it was tough.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a very rigid, stiff competition. It's got a lot of legs to stand on.
Oh, Mike with all the jokes.
With all the jokes.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
right, guys.
All right. Thank you both
All
for
right.
coming on, and look forward to big things come Friday.
All right.
Yeah,
See ya.
looking forward
Thanks,
to seeing
guys.
you on the field Friday, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. That is awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, that kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm talking to myself, blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, we've got the next part of our show. We're going to jump into and go through, sort of analyze, pick apart, even make maybe some bold predictions for the games that are coming up this weekend. And not just, I mean, not this weekend, Friday. That is official, I think, except for 1 week in December or November. It's Fridays, our Simulation Football League minor league night on SFL YouTube, and we'll start with the first game of the night, 6:30 Eastern. Albuquerque is in town out at Madison to take on the Lynx. Let's see. Daniel, would you like to go first? Point out anything that you think might be pertinent, or how you think this game might play out.
Yeah, I'll go first. Just elaborate. I did pick Lexington last, or not Lexington. I picked Lincoln last season. They put up a big game with their tag. I might have to pick them again. I haven't picked yet, Mike. Don't worry. There's still a chance I might pick you guys. For this game though, Albuquerque and Madison. I like the look of Albuquerque. Of course, having a goal strong safety is very strong in this league. We all talked about it last season, or not last season, like last week, how it went on. Uh, it's going to be a very, very good game, I think. I think it's going to be high scoring. We got Prince Wonder on Madison's side, who's probably going to be pretty good overall. He's already getting a good start. But over in Albuquerque, it feels like they got the weapons for this one. So I'm got to lean to Albuquerque, but it's the first week. Anything can happen, right? There's no scouting going on. You can't really do anything about that. So it's almost like our pro week one. Who knows what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. Do you have are you leaning any which way for who might be the one with the W at the end of the day?
I'm leaning right now to the Albuquerque Adams. Don't let Mickey say I hear that though.
he'll hold it against you somehow. Or
yeah, he might continue on saying that I got to pick them now for the entire season. We don't want that.
Yeah. Do you have? I'll come back for a wrap. Another question to you after I go through the rest. Daniel, or not Nathaniel, the other eel. Nathaniel, do you have any thoughts on this game for on Friday?
Well, Daniel, get anything mixed up about you picking the right team to win? Because I picked Madison to win before the season started when we won, and I didn't get nothing. I didn't get no prize. I'm gonna go with Albuquerque in this one. I want to pick Madison. I'm an alumni over there. We had a great time. I think Madison does turn it around this season, but I think Adams just have too much on the roster for game one. I mean, Ty, in my opinion, I think Ty should have been drafted in the last draft.
I 100% agree with you.
Ty is amazing, and not to mention, Westlake is on my team over there in DC. Westlake's got some heck of good hands, and had a 2 touchdown game in the pros already. So and runs it on you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big weapon. He's a big person. So there's a lot of stuff rolling for Adams in that game. So I got to stick with my teammate and wish my alumni luck.
Awesome. And Robert, Sherry, your thoughts on this game coming up?
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat about. Oh, sorry. I'm sort of in the same boat as Nathaniel. I do want Madison to win, but I do see Albuquerque taking this one. They have more two ways on their roster, which they've had all SFL season to progress, which kind of gives them a leg up, in my opinion. And they do have experience. I think that'll win them the day against Madison.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that with Adobe, yeah, Adobe and Williams and Westlake, they are starting week one, ahead of the curve. But again, because they're not able to progress after this, or that they're sort of frozen during the minor league season, we'll see. Maybe again, I think week one and week 8 come back, so they're going to be playing again the last week of the game of the season. And so we may be calling a completely different game at that point than we're seeing this week one. Yeah, there's a lot of brand new players over on Madison. They're lacking that CB2. They had as we mentioned last week, they had a CB1 that then left the server. So the 2 went up to 1, and now they're sort of a little bit short in the backfield back there. So we'll see how that pans out. I mean, I think they're not going to be. It's not going to be a blowout. I don't think it won't be a shutout. That's what I mean. It won't be a shutout. I think they'll get 7-14, maybe even in the low 20s for Madison. But Albuquerque, I think their offense is too strong. Their defense will do pretty well out there, and it might be 30s to teens with the favor of the Adams. Daniel, do you have like a standout player you're excited to see out on the field for either of these teams or in this game? Who would be your way too early player of the game be if you had to
You
guess?
really want me to curse people, don't you?
Sure.
I feel like that's where this is going towards. But I picked this man last season after my first original pick of the season disappeared. But Ty, former Tacoma Grizzly, played lights out last season. He's still got the tools here. He's going to do the exact same thing, I think. I think he might even have a chance to break records.
Gotcha. So seeing Adobe and Williams as replacement for Kaufman and DeQueen last season for him.
It's hard to replace good talent like that, but I think with the way the draft, or not the draft, but the way the minor leagues is set up, defenses are a lot weaker, I think, going into the start. And I think this is where Ty can really take advantage of.
Nathaniel, same question. Do you have any, would you agree that Ty's the standout player of the game, perhaps, or do you have a different player you think will be going ham?
I think he's right. I think Ty comes out. I mean, if anything, with a vengeance. I mean, and has an even better season than last season, and proves why he should have been drafted. I think Ty will be that, and I don't think there's any jinx in it. I think there's enough love coming from the panel that it's going to kind of push that aside. But I'm also going to shout out to, like I said, my teammate Westlake, and I can't wait to see what they can do.
Mm-hmm. And Robert, do you have, are you on the Ty bandwagon? Do you think he'll be the player of the game? Or do you think there's another player that stands out? Or if you had to pick a second player, who would you pick?
I'll give you a player on offense, which I believe Ty. I think Ty will have a great game. And I think on defense, Dante Grimm.
Okay.
He has a lot of experience both in the SFLM and the SFL. I think he'll come out on top.
Being starting strong safety, being one of only 2 gold players in the minor leagues right now, the other being Lincoln's running back, Logan Lee. Yeah, I could see him, swinging down from over the top and picking off balls all season long for the most part. I agree. I think all of what you guys have mentioned will probably come to bear in more ways than one. I have a feeling that Josh Slapp will probably have a pretty good running game as a balanced attack. It may be that Madison goes heavy on trying to stop Ty and the passing defense or passing offense with the tools on defense that they have. But looking at the defensive tackle on Madison, just they have a lot of room to grow over there, and I think Josh Slapp has though he's still copper, not a bronze, but I think he he might have the ability, and Craig Westlake with the ability to block for him as well out there could easily give him 100+ yard game. So
I'll say this before we end with this group. Uh, to my alumni, I really hope that the coach and staff over there, the new people in there, I'm excited to see what they can do, and hopefully they can turn it around because the past 2 seasons that offensive game takes a while to click for Madison, and the defense always steps up and kind of keeps them in the game a little bit. So I'd like to see what they can bring forth this season and see what they can do to address that. And I mean, you know how that went for us. I mean, it
yeah.
was it's kind of like Addison's kryptonite, I guess.
hmm so speaking of Madison, so again, pretty much all of Madison's coaching was given the hey, you're an owner, get the boot kind of thing. Just because of the rules of pros versus minor league. But Michael Percoco is now the head coach versus Berto Demora. Coming over to offensive coordinate is James Walters, who's already the Vancouver pro defensive coordinator, and then Christian Brown, the quarterback for Vancouver, also is the defensive coordinator, who's also the assistant offensive coordinator over at Vancouver. So they've it is there's a lot of there's Vancouver blood in the front office there, and so we'll see how you know have a very good track record in the pros of doing a lot of really good things with what they have, with the tools that they have. And so it you bring a good point that I think I'm excited to see what they're able to do with the players that they've got, and to see how they can let them shine. All right, we'll switch over next to the game 2 for Friday night, and that one airs at 6:45 on YouTube as well. Again, these are Eastern times. Any SFL times are Eastern times. Anyway, so we have the Annapolis Navigators heading into Lexington to play the Miners. Let's switch it. We'll go to Robert. Do you want to start us off? What are your thoughts on this game between these two teams?
Well, we're going to see an Annapolis team that does not have Squarebush for the first time in how many seasons? 2 seasons?
Yeah, maybe 3.
Maybe 3, yeah. So I'm really excited to see what can they do. What will be the new formula, or will they stick to a same formula they used with Squarebush on Chris Grant Jr.? That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that might play out.
Yeah, and for Lexington, they have a lot of new players, and we'll see how they do. I have high hopes for them. I still remember them being a powerhouse a couple seasons back when both Daniel Diggs and I were on the same team, and we played them in the championship. I think they still have that mindset going into the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Nathaniel, your thoughts on this pair up and this matchup?
This will probably be the most evenly matched game of the weekend. Both of them are pretty comparable right off the board, even with the players. So I think this is just going to come down to me looking and saying I think I'm just going to go with Annapolis, just based off of, like I said, I got another Steve boy over there, so I got Shanahan, but I also think Gene Struthers is a really good quarterback too. So I'm gonna pull with Gene just being a little bit better, and it's going to be coming down to really what the coach and staff brings to the table. It's that even, depth chart wise, pretty much. When you look at the ratings, so it's just going to come down to which coach puts the best playbook together, really.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, what's your thoughts on this matchup?
So it's very interesting, right? Because this will be without Squarebush, where we all time about him just run through people, trucking people, and going on his merry way to the end zone. They have a balance back now, by the looks of it, instead of what we're normally used to seeing with finesse backs. So they can't exactly do the same strategy with Squirtbus. It would be interesting to see how they switch it up, how things change and develop. But uh, the Navigators is a team that I knew had back then that used to have one of the best defenses. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week. I'm always known for their strong defenses. Now it just feels like something's missing. It feels like the spirit of what they were is gone. They still got strollers on offense. They still got Senahan that can throw the ball, but it's no deep threat Derby kind of situation. It's gonna be interesting to see how their game plan develops and changes. On the minor side, uh, they literally lost the heart and soul Ethan Kai, who became an owner. Congratulations on that. But he was doing sims galore every week. We all know how much work he put into this, and I hope he developed the coaching team because I'm pretty sure if you said right, they worked under him last season. So I hope that same mindset is gonna continue on with that. I actually think the Miners is gonna win this one. I like Chad Moore. I like the way he's going to. I think Swayze is going to have a big game. I personally think Swayze has the right type of build to actually perform really well in the minor league. So my lean is towards the minors.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm really interested to see. Again, we saw Chad Moore come in, very early or midway. Not really midway. I think it was pretty early in the season as a fresh faced quarterback for Lexington, and to see what he was able to do. And then on the other side, Gene Struthers is only roughly 2 points ahead of him in ability wise, silver. And I'm curious to see what Gene Struthers and the offense is able to do over on the Navigator side. And yeah, if I remember right from last week, yeah, Swayze, Boudet, Solomon all have very, very big, good, builds that are able to, make those special plays, I guess. Um, Robert, do you have any standout or actually first, so Daniel, you chose Lexington. Robert, did you make a pick? You said it was going to be one of the most evenly matched. Do you have? Are you leaning one way or the other for the W?
I do agree with Daniel that it's evenly matched, and I do believe Annapolis will take it. It'll
Gotcha.
be a close match, though. It'll be within a touchdown, I believe.
And do you have a standout player that you think might be like this is the person that I'm looking for a big game from this person?
I believe Grant Jr. I think he will come out running the ball. I think they will utilize Gene Struther's ability to open up the pass, which will open up holes in the run game, which Chris Grant Jr. will utilize well.
Gotcha. All right. So we've got Daniel with Lexington, Robert with Annapolis. Nathaniel, do you have a pick of which one will be winning in your mind?
Yeah, I said Annapolis,
Oh
I
yeah,
think, and I think player of that game will probably be Gene Struthers because, like Daniel said, you know, Bush is out, and we're gonna get to see what kind of arm and stuff they got over there, and I think it's a chance for them to show out. So I think Gene Struthers steps up to the plate.
cool. And Daniel, do you have a player of the game that you might assume might have a good game?
Yeah, I'm going to actually take it out to Jukin Rukin Jr., another great name, by the way. I think he's going to play really well. He's already a bronze strong safety. 61 is really good, just early on starting off. I think he's going to have a great, and their defensive backs, they have so many of them, they don't have to worry like some of the other teams that we might see in the future.
Do you think so? Looking at this, Lexington has a kicker. Do you think that will come in clutch in this game? Especially Robert, you talking about being kind of evenly matched. Is that going to be a game changer? Being able to kick a field goal from the 30. So that would be a 47. 45 plus field goals versus having to punt.
Well, if we seen from the Adams last season, it proved vital for them to keep in games early on as their team started to develop and get better. So
Gotcha.
I think it's vital. But Mr. Cherry, what do you think about that?
You're saying Lexington doesn't have a kicker?
Lexington does, but Annapolis does not.
Oh, my roster, they're showing Mason Remy as their kicker.
Annapolis. Oh,
Yeah, it must have been a recent pickup. I have a little cheat sheet roster provided by deputy commissioner, so it's updated quite
gotcha.
frequently.
That's Cherry dropping the mic.
You say Victor Washington? Yeah, he got picked up 3 days ago, but he doesn't have a tag or nothing on him.
Oh, okay.
In
Yeah,
fact,
Victor
he's not even
Washington.
in the server anymore.
Oh, so he might be gone. This might need to be updated.
Yeah, pick the mic back up.
I'll pick it back up.
He
All
does
right,
have the check mark, so he's probably in for this weekend at the very least.
gotcha. All right, well that we'll see. Well, that'll be an interesting. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so that I I'm gonna have to give the edge, just a slight edge to Lexington. I think here again. I think it's just I think the Navigators are going to just struggle a little bit on offense. I think they're going to need to find their identity a little bit more than because they had such a strong identity in one previously. I think they're going to need to sort of hit a hard reset and see how it plays out or how it pans out against Lexington, who has had a history of a very strong defensive crew. So that's my thoughts. All right. So with that, we'll move on to the third game. So the third game, we see San Jose coming in, flying north to Ottawa. Robert, you've been preparing for this game and in general for a while. Let's start with you. How do you feel this game is going to play out? Do you, again, not looking for any specifics or anything, but do you feel prepared? What are you expecting from the flight in some way or whatnot? What would you like to say?
I do feel we're prepared. We got a lot of experience coming back on our offense. We are very stacked on defense. We have a lot of players on defense, and I think we match up really well against them. The flight, I know they recently got a new quarterback, which it gives us the advantage, in my opinion. But they do have a lot of stars coming in on both offense and defense. So I believe it will be another close game, but I do believe Ottawa will take the cake on this one.
Gotcha. And Nathaniel, your thoughts on this? Feel free to say it with your chest, but on this matchup.
I'll say it with my chest. So Cherry's family, not just Madison alumni, but Bears family. Okay, so no, all the love, man. I know you're putting the work in, and I wish you the luck this weekend. But I think San Jose is just more well-rounded of a team, and what it's going to come down to, I think, for Cherry is how much damage can that heavy loaded offense do? Can it do enough damage for that defense to do enough to keep San Jose down? And it's that's I mean look at their offense. Look at Ottawa's offense. I mean, you got King and Knight. You got Azami Minata, who had a great season last season. And like he said, he's got a quarterback that's a little bit higher than Blanco over there, and I think they've got the weapons to do it, and we'll see if they can pull it out. But like I said, it might just come down to Ottawa's defense going against that more a little bit well-rounded and balanced Jose flight. And I want to shout out to Robert Thump, the new DT over there. I think he'll do some good, and he's already making his name known in the general chat, which is something we'll talk about later with the new guys. But luck to you, Cherry.
Thank you.
And Daniel, do you have any thoughts on how this game might play out?
Well, I might not be, from either of these teams, but I am Canadian at heart, so I bleed the Ottawa colors through and through. I actually like the Ottawa team. They have to get wins early. We stated this last week because of how many two-way players you guys have. They don't evolve further as the season goes. So the more games you win now, the better you win. This is a tough matchup, no doubt about it. It's actually very important to note that Ottawa does have a punter, so that could be a play difference with San Jose's offense trying to strike through. If you can pin them deep, we all know they like to switch to their running game. And J.C. Bacon's no joke, but he's a two-way player as well. So he's not progressing any further from this point. So I think if you come with the right game plan, and if the punter can actually play pivotal roles, which we know they can in the past, I think Ottawa can have the right game plan to beat this one. So I'm going Ottawa because I bleed Canadian.
And I was looking back at my sort of my ratings of the different teams, and honestly, I think Ottawa has a really strong off linebacking core, and I think that's going to play really a big part in stopping Bacon and stopping what they might be wanting to do with DJ Bandit and things in that that zero the line of scrimmage through 10 yards, 12 yards out. I think will be like a no man's zone in there, and then it's up to we've got GB Wallace back there who's coming back from last season. I think we'll have a really good game. Matt Ryan coming in, Roy Towers. I think they are pretty. They might be lacking numbers in value, but I think they have people who can step up and things. Yeah, I this could be a very balanced game. I see as well. I'm excited to see what
Let me ask
Dwayne.
you this,
Yeah.
Axel. While you're going over that, and from your coaching experience with all that, how much more do you think that's going to help? And Jose having that extra back there and that extra defensive lineman, because they got the two defensive linemen at the end and the tackle.
Yeah, let's see. So they've got the defensive tackle. I think Robert Thump is going to be um, in trying to get Dwayne Salmons going. A lot of times, it's harder to get balance backs going, and they have to treat him a little bit more like a power back, which is more running straight at the threat versus running around the threat. And if Robert Thump is the threat, you're going to run right up the gut, right? And so I think it's going to come down to a face off between Salmons and Thump, and we'll just see who it is that's going to win that battle. And it could be who's going to get tired out first, or it might be an ebb and flow back and forth kind of thing throughout each quarter. The defensive backs, and again, Robert, correct me, you still only have one cornerback currently. Is that
No, we do have two corners.
okay?
And we have two free safeties and two strong safeties.
Okay. All right. So then if you've got a full complement, very much similar to what they've got, I think they've got 5. It shows on there. I think that the back should be the defensive back should be able to hold up. I think it has to do with putting the people in the right spots, getting the right formations called, and it might be then, trying to start simple on defense and making sure that you've got, solid plays that don't allow too much, and pick and choose what is it that you're going to give up and what it is that you're going to stop, and try not to be everything to everybody kind of thing. If that makes sense. Does that help?
Since Cherry's holding out on an updated roster here, I might have to change who I'm picking to win this game. I mean, I'm looking at the wrong information now.
Yeah, brief shout out to D'Amico Brewer, who joined today actually as the strong safety. So
awesome. I'm gonna just use this time quick. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I'm just gonna go check the roster just to see. I pulled it out this afternoon. Maybe it's just not updated. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this might play out. Daniel, do you have any standout player that might have the game a player of the game? What, words are tough sometimes.
who do I think will play well?
That's the one. Yes.
So offensively, both teams will do well. Defensively, both teams will try and contain offenses. We never talk about special teams enough. So KL Barrett Jr., you're my player of the game.
Awesome. And Nathaniel, do you have any player of the game, any standout player?
I think it's going to be between probably Jay-Z Bacon for the San Jose Flight, or a mix between Knight or King and Ottawa there. I can't pick one or the other. I mean, Isaiah King had some big games, and Knight had some big games, so it's going to be a toss up. But it'll be one of those two, I think.
Mm-hmm. And Robert, do you have any thoughts on who might be your player of the game?
Well, I think it's definitely a toss up between King the Fourth and Knight. They're both going to be out there balling out, and it'll come down to like who has the most receptions, most yards. But I think they'll get the ball a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll show in the stat line.
For me, I'm excited to see Timothy Connolly out there, getting in the backfield a little bit, stopping maybe Jay-Z Bacon on the edges or things. I think he might have a double handful of tackles at the end of the game, maybe a couple TFLs perhaps. So I'm excited to see that. All right.
I'm hoping.
All right. We'll see how that pans out on Friday. Next, our final game, number 4, Pitt's Tacoma, venturing over into Lincoln, Nebraska to battle the Rattlesnakes. Daniel, your thoughts on this game, how this game might play out?
Mike Gall ain't here anymore, right?
He is not. He's
really? Okay. Tacoma's going to win all the way. It's as simple as that. I don't know what kind of bias people think we have in this, this thing. I think Tacoma's just a really good built team, not because we are former Grizzlies or not, but really, this is going to be a good test for Tacoma because, as we know, Lincoln's coming with heavy hitters. I'm still not 100% on Logan Lee's build because he did take a lot of animations early, and he's going to suffer a little bit later on nowadays gold trying to get those stats back. So I'm not 100% sold on the stat line of him being a gold, being the outmost best of what's going to happen. So, I'm still going to sell my bias. I like Tacoma. I think they're actually shaped up to be really good offensively, and they got some key people coming back on the defensive side.
Nathaniel, your thoughts on this game between Tacoma and Lincoln?
Since Daniel's already made sure the coast was clear, I'm going Tacoma as well. I gotta go Tacoma as well. You can't count out what All can do though. I mean, with what he's got over there either. So it's gonna be a battle, But I'm gonna go with Tacoma. Like I said, they got probably best defensive players. I mean, we played with Maldonado, right? And he did good over there, and then did good for QCC, and now he's down here, but he's going to be playing. What is that? Cornerback?
Looks like it. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see. He did good at the linebacker spot, got a pick 6, and I want to see what he does in that cornerback spot. But watch on that.
Yeah. Cool. And Robert, your thoughts on this game?
One thing we haven't mentioned is I believe Tacoma has the only O lineman in the minors right now.
It's true. They won the lottery.
Yep, they won the lotto. And if you have an O line, I think that significantly helps your run game, your pass blocking, everything like that. So I'm giving it to Tacoma. They have a good defense. They have 2 ways coming back on that defense, so they're shored up there. I was worried about their offense, but looking at it now that they have O-line, they have a tight end, they have their wide receivers, their running back, it's looking a lot better. But I don't want to count out Lincoln because Lincoln has one of the best quarterbacks right now, Kenny Slider. And we do see Logan Lee a gold. I don't know if it's like Daniel said with the animations that could skew it a little bit, but I still think he is an effective running back. But at the end of the game, I think Tacoma will be on top.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's
I got my players mixed up. I don't think I was thinking. I think I was thinking Alvarado.
Yes, you are. You might have been Matthew Alvarado. Yeah, instead of Maldonado. It's kind of close.
I mean, there's so many team names or people on these things. Their names are so close. There's like a couple incognitos, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, Angel coming back from last last season, I believe. I'm not sure if they're two-way or not, but I know that they were there last season. Like you said, Kenny Slider is will be throwing the ball. Logan Lee will be getting handoffs. The one thing that I feel is I'm glad that Lincoln did not get the tackle, the offensive lineman, because they've already got a fullback. They've already got a returning two-way blocking back in Brian Murphy, who is just, let me validate run blocking. It's 75 run blocking. So is maxed out run block for the tight end. So Logan Lee already has a lot of blockers out there. So I think that the Lincoln offense is paired very well with the Tacoma defense. Tigga Clay, Remington James, Angel Maldonado, and then we've got the defensive tackle. They don't have the end, so there might be a little bit less pressure or a little bit less issue or takedowns if Logan Lee's going around the corner trying to cut that corner without that defensive end. We'll see how that plays out. TJ Harper, part of the flex squad out. I don't know if he's watching or not. I saw him in chat earlier. We'll see how that plays out, but this might very well be a shootout between a young and fresh Tacoma Grizzlies offense and the Lincoln Rattlesnakes more stable offense or returning offense.
It could be game of the week.
I think it should be it might be a big fun back and forth. Maybe that's why it's set at 9 p.m. I'm not sure. Actually, all these times were set when the schedule was announced. So who knows you never know what the rosters might be and things at that time. So anyways, I think it has a potential to be that. I like that you called that out. Nathaniel, I think Lincoln might have it for this one. I think
he's out of the Grizzly gang. Get him out.
Oh,
I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say this game all on the legs of Logan Lee. Okay, Logan Lee, I think, will be the make or break for this game. If Logan Lee can't get it running, or can't in the receptions or whatnot, if he doesn't have a good game, or if Logan Lee don't have a good game, then I don't think Lincoln stands a chance in this one. I mean, not to like I said, you can't take watching the show what we say personally or nothing like that. It's just opinions. Everybody has, it's nothing personal on anybody. And I mean, you can prove us wrong, and we'll change tune and give you credit the very next show. But I think to me, it's going to come down to Logan Lee.
I think
Tacoma's going to win.
Yeah, and even though he's gold because artificially gold because of 3 animations, 1 high value, 2 low value animations, and yes, he does have 50 out of 90 consistency and no break tackle. Or no, he does have break tackle. Doesn't mean that he isn't fast, can't run the ball effectively, and those animations will be popping, and we'll see how that plays out. Again, having the blocking of the fullback and the tight end there could make the difference. If Lincoln knows what they're doing, they're going to make sure that they're putting those blockers out in front of him and giving him the right runway to make those plays, and then falling back on Kenny Slider, with his arm out there. Daniel, do you have a player? Did I already ask this player of the game?
No, you didn't.
No, not this one.
You went on a long rant about Tacoma, and then you keep Lincoln.
I'm sorry. Do you have a player of the game who you think might play ball out this Friday at Tacoma versus Lincoln?
So he was relatively quiet last season, but I think he's going to emerge as one of the better backs in the league. So I'm going to go J.P. Elliott, Mr. High Step himself when we watched him in preseason. I think he's going to have a good season himself. He had one season to really get himself under. They got a chance to look at him and see how he plays. And I think the coaching staff can better use him now. And with that tackle is going to be really big to help out with that.
Mm-hmm. Nathaniel, do you have a player of the game or a player you think is going to do really well?
Let's see. I think he picked JB. So let me say somebody different. I'm gonna go Maldonado
I could see
in the backfield.
a pick or two, maybe even a pick six. You never know, coming from him. Robert, do you have a player of the game, a player you think is going to do really well?
Although I said Tacoma when I could see Kenny Slider still getting player of the game.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, that's our the four games we've got. Um, so I mean that's I'm excited to watch these games. I'm excited to see how they play out, um, and things. And yeah, I feel like this game, as you called it, Robert, this might be the game of the week if it's not Ottawa. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think for every single player watching, every single player in the minor leagues, each of these games is a must watch. I'm excited for them to be able to watch their players out, on the field in regular season, getting their heads knocked off or knocking some heads off of others. Should be a blast for them. Um, any that sort of wraps up. Any questions? Any final words? Anything you want to mention or chat about, the three of you?
I don't want to ask
Well,
Jerry. I mean, what were you feeling going into this? Now that it's like officially starting your first season coaching down there, like, what's the mindset other than being focused on the game? Like your feelings?
Excitement, nervousness, stress, all that kind of stuff running through my head. Luckily, I was able to get a lot of great football minds on my coaching staff, and have been helping me get this team ready to play San Jose. And overall, I'm excited, very much so, to get the ball rolling, get the season going, and I am very excited for all the players we have on our team. The locker room's been great. Hearing from Lakeman and all the others, I'm excited to see what this team can do out there.
Very cool. Yeah, I imagine like it's like a dam and the water's just building up and building up and building up, and then as soon as this game happens, then before you know it, it's like, all right, we know who we have next. The game at the game finishes, and you're like, well, who do we have next? Now we've got a game to scout, who get the scouts going, and then it's just like this never ending weekly cycle, for the next 2 months, 2 months plus. So that's exciting. It's at the precipice. You're ready. I'm glad. I'm excited for you. This opportunity for you. Sort of cut your teeth and get out there and have some fun doing things. So
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go all the way.
very,
Not 8 weeks, but what, 12 weeks? Yeah, I'm ready for
exactly,
12 weeks.
exactly. Well, I think the championship is like pretty quick. Like it happens like bam bam. So it's almost just like a week of championships. It's pretty quick. So 9.5 weeks ish. It's all finishes before Christmas.
Awesome.
Yeah. So all right. Any other questions? Any other topics you want to chat about?
well, I don't really have a topic per se, but I'll just mention this out because I feel like we do this every season, or at least I try to talk to the minor leaguers themselves to just really take in this moment, enjoy it, build up, your friendships along the way because this is the best part. I think this is personally the best part. You build so many friends along the way. Me and Axel met in the minor leagues with Reno, Wick Sirhan Sane. We just called him last week in that game that he played. But this is what it's all about: the camaraderie, the learning, learn from your coaches, and just have fun. Be active, be supportive, and please come on this show, talk to us, have some fun. We're not gonna bite, and get your name out there because this will go quickly, as we've all known. the the off season is kind of slow, but once you start playing, the season flies right by. So now is the time to talk to people, get to know people, and work your way up that ladder.
And I'd love to piggyback on that too. That and I noticed this yesterday. There's a handful of posts going out in the SFL Discord channel in both player openings and staff openings, and make sure you're keeping up to date with that, and reach out to the GMs that are mentioned in there. They're looking specifically for different players and different player types. CHS Charleston's looking for a handful of offensive players and free safeties. Same with Motor City. It's looking for cornerback and free safety or safeties. The Fleet, Arizona, Houston, Denver. There's a lot of player openings out there now that the regular season is done. Don't shy away. Be active. Be active both in your minor league chat. Be active in regular chat. Reach out to us. We will plan on having at least one or two, if not three, minor league players from here on out. Tonight was sort of set aside with Mike All and Mike Oneal, but from here on out, we'd love to have a couple minor league players that we interview, talk specifically to you, that you're able to share who you are with the GMs out there, owners that are listening and watching. Staff openings, there's a variety of different ways to get involved in pro teams. There's stats. So there's people that are interested in getting stats, individuals for stats, to run stats. I've done it for some games this last regular season. It's not that difficult. You get to see sort of behind the scenes. You get to be part of the creation of the product that goes out, these games. That's really exciting. The games that are actually being played, your games, you can sign up and be part of the stats there as well. There's, you could interview. What is it when tryouts? There's like a tryout for broadcasting. If you're want to give a shot at broadcasting, there's opportunities for that. There's social media. I think Arizona's actually looking for a social media person. If you're I like making graphics, I like doing the Instagram and doing those Twitter things and things. That's a great opportunity as well. Reach out. If you can't do it yourself, like solo, perhaps you can request, hey, do you mind if I come on board as an assistant social media to individual to learn how that goes and what is needed, and support that team there. So there's a lot of different opportunities. It's just keeping your eyes out and asking your head coaches, asking your offensive coordinators, your coaches, the people in your locker room is a great start. They'll get you connected. Will ask us in our Discord or DM us. We're always willing to make the connections as well. But keep your eyes and ears peeled and keep meeting people. So, all right.
I'll just go off what you just said right there. Thing we kind of don't talk about. We do talk about the get out there and all that stuff, but one thing is don't get discouraged if your player's having a bad season. Okay, if your guy's dropping passes and all that stuff, don't get discouraged and leave the league thinking you're not going to get drafted or nothing like it. It's not like that. Do what Axel and Daniel said. Get out there, be in the gym chat. These coaches can't see everything that's going on or even see you down there. So when you get into the SFL gym chat, they can see how your character is, how you handle yourself out there, how you handle losses, how you handle the tough season your players having. Or like you said, do graphics, reach out to these teams, get your name out there and stuff. So a lot of picks or character picks in the draft, and they can build you how they want you or how best you'll benefit that team. And that's the main thing for me is we always talk about get out there and be seen, but even bigger that you don't get discouraged bad season. So you missed a tackle and got burned and cost them the game. Scouts don't care about that.
Yeah.
So, you're all good.
I love that call out. And that's really, the minor league is considered a developmental league. It's there to help you grow and to see your growth from wherever you're at. You could have joined just this today and get out there on the field week 1. And as a fresh player, and then by the end you've progressed and you gotten better, and it's about who you are as a person first and foremost, and then your player's going to grow no matter what. You're going to continue progressing and get better and better and better. And so it's really they're investing in who you are. You're going to be, are you a person that can help grow and enhance the culture of that locker room, of that team? Are you there to support? Are you a leader? Whether that, you don't have to be an external, talkative leader. You could be more of an introvert, but are there, modeling the behavior, picking each other up, and things like that, or talking to people in DMs to support each other. You don't have to be like the most talkative, popular person. It's not about that. It's about who you are inside and what you can do for others that are around you. So I love that call out. Appreciate that. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other topics? This is fun.
I've enjoyed being back on here from the OG stuff here, Daniel and Axel. I'm glad to be back and pop my head back in, and that's how I kind of got a start here. And got it helped me with my draft and getting drafted early. You gave me the opportunity to come on the show when I was in the minors, and it opened up more opportunities for me to represent the SFLM a little bit more with co-hosting with AJ, and it opened up the opportunity for Meerkat and Johnny Reno to come in here and become full-time co-host with you and Daniel, and it's what it's all about, spreading the love and getting people a chance to contribute as well, and everybody's moved on to stuff, like Cherry. Cherry got his name out there, and it's not like, hey, just because I'm new, I can't get it done. How long were you here, Cherry, before you got that GM spot over there?
I got assistant GM my second season with Charleston.
I mean, it's just how you handle yourself and how you interact with stuff, and opportunities come, and it's all part of making relationships and connections, and you never know what opportunity is going to present itself. So, like I said, I'm extremely proud of him. He's a good guy for the job, and look what that opened up for him. Now he's got a coaching spot too. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what you can do this season, and I'm rooting for you. I may be pulling for Madison when it comes down to it, because I got to pull for alumni, but I'm pulling for you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
That's the fun too. Is after having gone through, starting off on Tacoma, really being a Tacoma Grizzlies gang kind of person, and then joining Madison myself as coaching staff, right? And then now Robert being over on Ottawa, I myself know are close friends with Stephon Forge, who used to be at Ottawa, and you're every season, especially from minor leagues, it's just ripples effects, and like your network and the people are just getting more dispersed, and is just growing exponentially, which is really the fun part.
Don't be afraid to ask. Nobody's gonna think you're ignorant, or nobody's gonna talk down on you because you asked a question and didn't feel comfortable. Don't be afraid to ask nothing around here. You can ask anybody pretty much anything, or if you don't want to ask them in the gym chat, send DM. And like Axel will gladly speak to you. Daniel will gladly speak. Daniel helps everybody almost every day over here. So like I said, thanks for having me back. It's been great getting back in here. And if anybody needs to dip out because of a schedule issue, all you have to do is holler, and I'm more than welcome to get back in here with you. So.
I appreciate it, Nathaniel. You always we'll keep a spot warm for you, definitely.
Yeah, it's always nice to have you back. It's been a while since you've been here, been able to talk. Still remember the old days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think I talked to Axel, and if Axel can ever pencil in about 30 seconds for a phone call, I might be able to talk about when we can get Papal squeezed in here a couple times.
Yeah.
It's another talk for another day.
Absolutely. Well, cool. All right. Well, we'll end it there. Thank you all for joining. Thank you three for joining me. The show would be nothing. I would fall flat on my face with this, because I'm not the most. I appreciate being able to say, hey, now you talk, and now you talk, and now you talk. That's all. I feel like I'm a facilitator more so than anything. So I appreciate all the content, all the thoughts and opinions and information that you guys offer. That is what makes the show great. So and then all of you viewers out there, yes, that's you. Don't be afraid to reach out to us, join the Discord. Let's have some fun. I'm really excited about we are what 48 hours away, less than 48 hours away, 46 hours away probably, from the kickoff of some great games on Friday. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Get out there. This is your time. I'll try to every week go hype your team. Go out there, make some graphics, post some Twitter posts, put some chat. That starts some fun little rivalries between Tacoma and Lincoln, etc. San Jose and Ottawa. Let's start some little fun, respectful beef with each other and call each other out. And then on Saturday we can set that all aside and come back together and have a lot of fun together in preparation for the next week. So, all right. Well, with that, I want to bid you all adieu, and we'll see you guys in game day chats on Friday.
Have a good one, everyone, and enjoy your games on Friday.
All right.
Good luck to everybody. Yep.
Have a good night.
Good night.